What's happening, folks out there? Welcome to the Game and Watch podcast, episode number 63. I'm your boy, Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool. I am joined by some fellow gaming colleagues today. We got Mark, aka Mr. Madness, in the house.
Yo, what's up? How's everybody doing?
I see your enthusiasm. We got Alfredo from the Dukes of Gaming podcast, aka the Duke of Education, right?
Yeah, you got it right. I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk to you guys about video games again. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we also got Jay, the synthwave gamer. How you doing,
Hello,
Jay?
yeah, fine, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, definitely. So before we continue, I gotta ask the synthwave gamer. How'd you come up with that name? I'm just curious.
um, I like synthwave music, so
Okay.
it's not very mainstream. So when I'm thinking of a gamer tag, a name, I thought that fits me. That does.
I was about to ask, what is synthwave music? Is it like EDM? Is that what it is?
It's electronic, so it's basically a genre that's influenced by 80s music, but modern. So it's very neon. So I'm kind of wearing like a gaming synthwave top. I don't know if you can really see that. So it's very neon.
Have you ever
But
have you ever watched Doctor Disrespect?
yeah, he plays a lot of
That he plays
synthwave.
synthwave music.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right. So yeah, I just thought I'd ask. So before we move forward, just a reminder to all you folks watching and listening that the Game and Watch podcast is an RView Gaming or OVG production. We are on Patreon. Definitely support the podcast on Patreon. Um, Watch us on all our streaming platforms: Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Definitely support us on all those platforms. And for your listening pleasures, we are just about on everything. So if you listen to Apple Podcasts, if you're on Spotify, Stitcher, you can find us there. All right. So today on the show, we're going to discuss 1 year of the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S on the market. We're also going to be talking good games, what we're playing as always, and the release rundown of what's coming out next week, which is a pretty big week. Uh, but first, I already know I asked about your name, Jay, but just for the rest of you guys, how y'all doing? Madness, I haven't seen you in a bit. I know you were a little under the weather.
Yeah, I know. I just had a cold. It's been killing me. I had to go on a trip. I've been real busy the last month, and then it's getting sick, putting me back. But I'm
Yeah.
back in the saddle here.
All right. And then how you doing, Alfredo?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. No sickness or anything, but I did go on a work trip, which was like for boring computer stuff. So kind of interesting, but not really because it's for work. But aside from that, doing pretty good because it's finally the weekend and I got to catch up on my backlog and video games in general. So can't complain.
Yeah. It seems like the older you get, the more the backlog grows when it comes to video games.
Yep.
All right. So let's get into our first news story. So it looks like we have another delay. It seems like this is just a year of delays. Everything's going to come out in 2022. So this one is the Steam Deck, and this seems to have been pushed back into 2022. And can we really say that we're surprised by this with the limited supply shortage of chips going around? They say that February is going to be the new launch window. So if you haven't pre-ordered this by now, I guess if you pre-order it today, who knows when you'll get it? You probably won't get it till like 2023. One of our fellow podcasters that comes on the show, Celine, her husband Apollo pre-ordered one. It's looking like they're going to have to wait a little longer. Too bad she's not on the show today, so I can get a reaction. But what's your guys' reaction to the Steam Deck being delayed? Did you guys pre-order it?
Yeah, I didn't pre-order it, but probably after a month after, they announced it and said pre-orders are available now, and within the first 10 minutes it was gone. At first I was like, I don't really need this, I have a PC. And then like a month later I was like, it would be nice if I could play these games on some sort of handheld. I just wish one existed, and by then you couldn't even pre-order it. So yeah, news like this doesn't really shock me. I think they're doing something weird where it's whatever release window you were expected to get it, because they're releasing them in batches. Essentially, you're going to get it 2 months later after you're expected to get it. So the first batch is coming out in February, but then some people are getting them in March. So now it's going to be coming out in May. So it sucks for everyone involved. And I believe the global supply chain, chip shortage that they're having, I don't see any end in sight of it, because I believe they came out, I want to say like last week or 2 weeks ago, and I think Sony was the one to come out and say like it's the end is nowhere in sight, and we're all kind of just might be screwed from a PC gaming standpoint.
Oh wow, yeah, it's looking pretty scary with this whole chip shortage. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's madness.
It,
Jay, got any?
yeah, it's gonna be tough for Valve to hit the ground running. You always like to have those holiday sales. I mean, but I know they've
Mhm.
sold out of their pre-orders and things like that. But it's just nice to get that holiday push, because people are gonna buy it because it's holidays regardless. But they have them pre-ordered. They probably worry about a lull once they finally do have them in stock. You've lost that initial wave, and then the first batch, now they're not coming out till next year. What's the supply chain like? How many do they even have? They haven't said anything. I don't think they have a lot of them, and they're competing against a lot of other people, so
Yeah, it's
it's going to be
scary.
real tough.
It's
Mhm.
scary. It's looking scary. Like, I mean, like I said, I don't condone you guys or anyone out there going to scalpers. Like last
Right.
week, we talked about that heist that they had here in my home state of California, where graphics cards, were stolen off of a truck. So I mean,
Mhm.
it's yeah. So I mean, yeah, it just goes back to that whole thing. Let's just really just make some new friends. Try to get this thing, whatever you want, whether it be a Steam Deck, PS5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, going into the holidays. Just get it for MSRP. Try don't overpay for this.
Mhm. Yeah, I was definitely, like I said, I now that I've come around to it, I'm definitely somebody who wants a Steam Deck, but I want to wait until it's available in the store. I don't want to have to do what I did with the PS5, just looking online for any intel I could get and, clicking the refresh button over and over again. I don't really want
No,
to do all of that. So I want to wait for it to be in the stores, but who knows when that's going to happen now.
no.
Yeah, I mean, you run into the risk, like, at least you can play other games, like those kind of games somewhere else. You
Mhm.
probably already have a computer, or somewhere else you can play those games. It's the shortages on the Xbox and the PS5. Like, if you want to play those games only, they're only on those platforms, you're really out of luck.
Mhm.
So it's gonna hurt. Valve's gonna do whatever they want, though. Valve is gonna Valve. They really don't care.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're gonna do. I mean, they made their pre-sale money, but I mean, I think the only thing that really shocks me is how you only need $5 minimum, and it was very
Mhm.
tempting for me at first when I'm just like, no. I mean, because one, I mean, I was telling you guys right before we went on, I recently just got this new PC, which I badly needed, but so I didn't want to get any more like tech or anything like
Is
that.
that
Mhm.
true? You only needed to put $5 down?
Yeah, five
Yeah,
dollars, five
Oh,
dollars
yeah,
then
down.
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
that so many of those are probably bought by scalpers.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it's unreal. It's
Yeah, only
probably at
only
least
$5
50%.
down. Yeah.
I'd like
Uh,
to believe though that because they like put some markup on it, that hopefully it isn't too many scalpers, but who knows, honestly.
yeah. Jay, you got anything to add on about the Steam Deck?
I just think it's a lot of money for a handheld device. So I just had a quick look at the UK prices for a Steam Deck. So the top models are around £570, which I think is probably around $650,
Yeah, something
which
like that.
is yeah,
Mhm.
which is more than the Xbox X is going for in England. And I'm currently looking to buy a gaming PC as well, so which is probably that's probably about half the price of what I can get a good gaming PC. So it just seems a lot of money for a handheld um, gaming device, really. So it's not something I will jump on in the next 12 months, 2 years, to be honest.
Well, I think what a lot of people have is so excited about is you don't have to use Steam. You can use your own OS, which is like the emulation scene is going to have a field day with this. So, I mean, I think that's what why a lot of people would want it. But let's go on to our next device, and this is something you're going to be excited about, Alfredo, because I see that shield in the background, and you know what I'm talking about. Mr. Game & Watch: The Legend of Zelda Edition. It has come out in the stores. I believe it was released this past Friday. It's only $50. It comes with 4 games: the original Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, and The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, along with the I guess like one of those Game & Watch things with Zelda. So I mean, it looks pretty cool. I mean, I saw a teardown of it on YouTube. You can pretty much set the time. You can pause. Obviously, just the 2 face buttons, start, select, and the gamepad looks very similar to the NES. So I mean, I look at this device. I just wonder if they're going to do any more for any more of their IPs. Will we see a Donkey Kong one? Are we going to see a Kirby one? Maybe Metroid or something? What are your impressions on the Game & Watch Legends of Zelda edition?
Yeah, I think it's great, and it's a no-brainer, honestly, kind of exactly what you're saying, because this is just like printing money for Nintendo. Because first of all, I think they released it at just about the right time, because these are like the perfect stocking stuffers. Now it's not like $10 or anything like that. I believe it's 50. Is that right?
Yeah, $50.
So $50 for a nice little system where you're getting like the original game. So a lot of people who have nostalgia of Legend of Zelda could get into it. And then it also sets the standard for, in the future, let's do a Mario edition, which will also sell like hotcakes, which I probably would buy as well and have to display on this nice little gaming shelf. But yeah, I'm probably gonna definitely get this just so that I can relive the classics, and it's a nice option to have around Christmas.
Yeah, if you're a big Nintendo fan, I think it's definitely worthwhile. I'm not the biggest Zelda fan. I hate spending that much money on something it's only like 3 games. To me, it's silly. And if it was easily hackable, I could see it. It's not, though.
No,
they've really closed it out.
Yeah, I don't think this thing is worth hacking at all, quite frankly. But I do see what you're saying. It's I mean, only 3-4 games. I mean, now maybe if they threw in maybe a Link to the Past or something, I think that would
that would definitely increase the value.
Yeah,
Zelda 2, like that's a lot of people do not like Zelda 2. It's not like any other Zelda game, really.
Yeah, most of them I believe are based on a Link to the Past, right?
Like, I think so.
Yeah. So I mean, that's how that was really like the whole foundation. I mean, I'm sure Nintendo really could have put it together if they wanted to, but I think they just wanted to, keep it, as cheap as possible,
Right.
But $50. I mean, I don't see this thing getting scalped or anything like that, because the Mario ones they put out last year, I hear you can still walk into the stores and buy them. So that's not a lot of people out there trying to go out and buy Game & Watch handhelds, at least in my opinion.
I mean, I think the value really comes with the fact that this new Game & Watch is coming out around the holidays, and it has the Legend of Zelda like on the box. So I feel like because of that, a lot of parents are going to go out and say, "Oh, I can buy this for my kid because I know Legend of Zelda. Everyone loves that," and they're just going to grab it off the shelves. So, I mean, it probably is more of like a money grab than anything else. But like you said, I think that in the future, they could definitely iterate on it and release the games, new versions of games that people actually want on it. But for now, they'll just start at the very, very basics of Legend of Zelda 1, and then we'll build from there. But let's get our money first.
Yeah. Nintendo's, You know,
I
they
can't
always,
imagine it would be hard to just do an NES game and watch. Just throw like your 10 best games on there.
yeah, yeah.
People would go
This
crazy
is
for something like that.
yeah. This is a conversation. I've always thought to myself like, I mean, I know Nintendo isn't Sega, but why don't they just like put a compilation of like their best NES or best SNES games on like a disc for like the Switch or
Mhm.
something? Just
They have the NES, part of the Switch Online.
yeah,
Right.
We're not going to talk of the expansion pack, but they do
yeah,
have a lot of games on there,
yeah,
but they'll never re-release a lot of them in like an actual physical
Yeah.
form.
yeah.
And that's the reason why exactly, because why would they do that when they can just charge you how much every single month and you'll pay for it?
Yeah, yeah. That is so true. Jay, are you a big Nintendo fan? You like Zelda or any?
No, no, not a big Nintendo fan, unfortunately. I've had a GameCube, a, a DS, and a Wii, but that's it really. I like Mario, but no, I'm not a big Zelda fan, so I'll be giving this one a miss. Um, I just had a quick look actually to see how much they're going for in England, and it's £45, but they're limiting them to one per customer as well. So it only came out a couple of days ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe there might be some idiot scalpers that may try to buy some and try to scalp them in the beginning, but down the line, I don't think if you want one by the holidays, I'm pretty sure it can be a stocking stuffer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not gonna buy it myself, but I mean, it should be very easily accessible, at least more easily accessible than say the Switch or any other
Right.
hardware we talk about on this show.
And I will say the little like dock for it that just holds it if you want to like display it on, I don't know, on your stand. The dock looks nice. I do like the look of the dock. Now is it worth $50? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So I was gonna ask, did you pick it up yet, Alfredo, or are you gonna pick it up? You
No,
thinking about it, or
I haven't, but I'm probably gonna end up picking it up just so that I can display it in
all
my
right? So if you buy
case.
it, it's not gonna be like it's not. You're not gonna play it. All right. Okay. So
I'll play it, but it's more for like I feel like it's more of like a collector's item is the way that I'm looking at it because it has the historical games, the Legend of Zelda 1 through whatever. So I'm looking at it more through that lens. I think this is a really good gift for like if somebody is into collecting gaming pieces of gaming history.
all right. All right. Sure thing. Sure thing. All right. So Rockstar. Looks like they've been the talk of the news the past couple of days with the GTA Trilogy, the definitive edition. Why did they make that such a long title? But it's being pulled from PC and just overall wherever you want to play it. It looks bad, but what's really bad is just on the PC version, like you can't download any of the old games that they had, and you can't even play it now. Like if you bought it, like you can't return it. So this is just like real bad. And I was looking at some mods of the game. They look a lot better than what Rockstar put together for this remaster. So this is just like this is horrible. Talking about
Yeah,
the
it's real lazy. It's a cash grab. The developers they hired to do this
Mhm.
have only ever done mobile games before. So I don't know what they were expecting. It just seems like you want to talk about cash grabs. This is a cash grab.
Yeah, it's worse than the Switch and the N64. Like, because this was just supposed to be 3 games. I wasn't even
Mhm.
gonna get it digitally. I was just gonna wait, till next month when they put it out physically. But I might be waiting a long time now because they got a lot of work to do. The dev said that they're gonna fix it, but I mean, at this point,
Who knows what that will be?
I mean, who knows when that will be? And then
And
just
also, what are they going to fix? They're not going to fix the graphics. That's the worst part of them.
Well, yeah, this story is really weird because, like we said, so this already has released for consoles and everything. Like, you're able to get this definitive on your Switch. A bunch of Dukes already have it on their Switch, and they say it runs pretty good. Does it look great? That's another topic. But they're apparently why they had to pull it from PC and Steam and everywhere from their own store and everything. So the statement that Rockstar issued was that they said that there were some unintentionally included files from the PC version. And when a bunch of people basically did digging to see, okay, what exactly does that mean? It turns out that they included files related to the licensing of music. So things that were songs that were originally from the original game, they were supposed to take them out, but it was still included with the PC game. So to avoid all of these lawsuits from, including these unlicensed games inside of Grand Theft Auto, they had to pull it down completely because now they got to figure out, I guess, how to fix all of the radio stuff to making sure those music tracks are not included. But the files also apparently contained files with developer comments from what was originally on the 3 games, Grand Theft Auto, Vice City 3, and San Andreas. So apparently there were some other files on there that they didn't want, the PC modder community to be able to access to, because it had references to some of the original plot lines and some of the original ideas that they were actually having to include as a part of all of those 3 games when they originally came out years and years and years ago. So they're trying to take out all of those things so that people won't be able to see, the Rockstar files that and developer comments that they had in there, which I thought was really interesting because that seems like a pretty huge oversight, especially from Rockstar, which is usually pretty on top of it.
Yeah, I read that exactly as well about the music. It makes you wonder though, what have they done with the music on the console version?
Mm-hmm. Right,
it's all in there. It's all in there. They just have a script that it won't play, but they didn't take it out. It's just lazy programming.
Yeah. I mean, if they didn't have the rights to the music, or if the license expired or whatever, they should have went a different route. But I mean, yeah, like Madness said, it's just lazy programming. Definitely, should have did better with that. I mean, were any of you guys any of these fans? Were you guys fans of any of these games back in the day?
I used to play GTA when it used to be the bird's eye view, where you're looking down on the cars.
The original.
I love that one. But I've not touched the GTA since it was based on like an Eastern European, like a Russian character coming over to America. But I've got a 13-year-old son who still plays it, but he just does the online. It's just really popular, isn't it? The online version still. I think it's 8 years old now. And it still brings in loads of money for Rockstar. So I just can't see them. It's like what you guys have said. It's just a bit of a cash cow for Rockstar, really.
Yeah, I think it was just to make some fans happy. Like, we want GTA 6. All right, let's calm down those people. Let's put this out, and yeah, that didn't work too well with them. All right.
I am looking forward to though whenever this gets released back for PC, because on Game Pass they're giving one of them for free. I can't remember which one it is. I want to say San Andreas.
San Andreas.
Yeah. So I'm excited to play that when that comes out, but I'll probably wait for a price drop in order to get all 3 of the games. I don't think I can justify $60 just to play that game again, even though I loved it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on to our next topic. Thunder World, Swedish indie publishing powerhouse Thunderful had its inaugural Thunderful World live stream presentation this week, with plenty of announcements for new titles, updates on previously announced games, as well as new homes for already released ones. So it was hosted by the voice of the Joker himself, Mark Hamill. I'm just going to go through some of these, all the games that were announced, and then we'll talk about the ones that, were most interesting to you guys. So, SteamWorld Headhunter, The Gunk, White Shadows, Tages, I think that's how you say it. If I butchered that, my apologies. Wavetail, Planet of Lana, Industria, Super Meat Boy Forever, Cursed to Golf, Leica Age Through Blood, Hell Pie, Fire Girl, Crowns and Pawns, Swordship, Tinkertown, and Source of Madness. Any of these looking forward to playing any of these games or familiar with any of these games that were announced for this event?
I'm only familiar with Super Meat Boy because I love Super Meat Boy, but the new one is just not doesn't hit the same buttons as the old one. But as I watch some of these trailers, I'm definitely digging Curse to Golf
Yeah, Curse of Golf
and
look good.
Fire
Mm-hmm.
Girl. Those are like probably the most my jam as opposed to some of these other ones that don't really seem to fit like what I would like to play right now. That could change. It always could change.
I
Yeah.
thought the Gunk looked good. That's coming on Xbox Game Pass as well. That's a third-person adventure game. I thought that one looked good. To be honest, I've not heard any of those apart from the Super Meat Meat Boy one. But some of them did look good. I wasn't really excited about most of them, if I'm being honest. But it'd be
They're
interesting because
fun. They're fun games. 10, $15. You play them on
Yeah.
the Switch. You get some fun out of it. You're not looking for AAA titles here. Like you
Yeah.
probably get some good gameplay out of them. I like games like the reason that Curse to Golf looks so interesting. It's like I like taking sports games and kind of making a different kind of sports game, like Golf
Yeah.
Story on the Switch. That was also really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree. All those games that you guys said. Another game that two that were kind of along the games that I like to play is Source of Madness, which is like a roguelike game, which always seems to interest me. And then another one that popped out to me was called Leica, Aged Through Blood. And they describe it as like a Motorvania, which is like Metroidvanias, I guess, but you ride a motorcycle as a coyote, which seemed interesting to me. But yeah, like you said, Madness, it's just something you spend $10 on, have a good like 2 to 3 hour experience on. So I'm looking forward to those two.
I would say for me, definitely Curse to Golf. That looked like the best one in my opinion. So I'm agree with you there, Matt. And then Super Meat Boy Forever looks like it's for mobile only. So if they bring it over console side, that great. Otherwise, whatever. I mean, I won't play it if it's just mobile. And then I also like the game Industria. After watching that trailer, that looked pretty interesting to me. But I mean, otherwise, it's just, I mean, just $10, $15, $20. I mean, no big triple A excitement here, really. But I mean, it could be exciting for quite a bit of gaming fans out there. Something different, especially if want to save some money, so you're not spending quite a bit of money, on games. So great way to save and add to your backlog if you want to buy your games at a real affordable price. All right, so and then in our another bit of news that we got going on, the Twitch has been added to the Switch, so you can watch Twitch on the Switch. Now I do stream on Twitch occasionally. Actually, was just streaming last night, but I think this is a good add-on for the Nintendo Switch. Now, if the Nintendo Switch can just get Netflix, because I think that's still like the number one.
You can get Hulu on it, but not Netflix, which is
Yeah,
odd.
yeah. So yeah, YouTube, Hulu, and now
Crunchyroll,
Twitch.
I think, right? Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So it's a nice idea. Like the idea, sure, it's great, but you can't chat on the Switch, and you can't stream through Twitch on the Switch.
Yeah.
So what's the point, really?
Yeah.
I guess to watch your favorite streamers, so you don't gotta turn on your PC or.
But if you want to
on your
chat, the
phone.
whole point I think is to chat too. A lot of times, you have to like download chat through your phone anyway. So why not just watch it on your phone?
Yeah. For me, I always use Twitch just to watch my favorite streamers do it. I rarely actually use the chat function, so it seems like more geared toward, I guess, people like me, because it would suck if you can't chat, because that's, like you said, what most people use it for. But when I read the story, it reminded me that, oh yeah, Switch doesn't have a lot of apps that,
Yeah,
you would expect it to have, or any regular console or whatever to have,
yeah.
which just seems really backward when it's 2021 and it just doesn't have the basic apps
Well,
or
that's
the most
Nintendo. I mean,
popular
that's
ones.
Nintendo.
Yeah,
They
it's
do
just
that all the
Nintendo.
time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, I mean, yeah, well, what doesn't make sense to me with Nintendo is they had all these apps on the Wii U, and then it's just when the Switch came out, it was just like bare bones. Like you
Mhm.
can't even get like custom backgrounds. It's just light or dark. They really
Mhm.
wanted to focus on the gaming, and I can see where they were coming from. And at the time, it being 2017, less people back then, now more than ever before, have like smart TVs. So it's like if you want to watch Netflix or YouTube or whatnot, you could just do it on your yeah yeah, you just do it on your smart TV. Yeah, I had a
Mhm.
brain fart there, excuse me. But but yeah, just yeah, so back then it just wasn't there. So now it's like when I see it, like it's like great, but it's like too little, too late.
Yeah.
Nintendo, like you could have did this a lot sooner rather than later. But I mean, I see maybe they'll put Netflix on there someday. I don't know. I mean, me personally, I mean, I have a device right next to my Switch that can do Netflix. So if I want to watch Netflix, I could just turn on that device. You know, a lot of people have Fire Sticks for their non-smart TVs. So I think it's just more accessible everywhere else now. I think the only thing benefit you're really getting out of it is the portability. Like if you're, say, taking the bus somewhere and it's like you got your Switch,
Mhm.
you're playing your Switch, and it's just like the screen is bigger than your cell phone and you don't have a tablet on you. You may as well just watch Netflix on your Switch. Can't do that. That's
Mhm.
that's the thing I get out of it.
Mhm. Yeah, the only other use case I can think of is if you were a parent, maybe, and your kid had your Switch, they didn't have a phone or anything like that, and they could just use their Switch for Netflix and all that, and it would be easier for a parent to just say, just use your Switch for this all, and then you wouldn't have to manage everything else with parental controls and everything. But for everyone else, like you said, you can pretty much get these apps anywhere else.
Yeah, you got anything to add about Twitch being on the Nintendo Switch?
No, I don't have a Switch, so I don't feel like I can really contribute to that. In terms of Twitch, though, what kind of things do you watch on Twitch?
Twitch, I watch some, just usually just some of my, like, just random streamers, like here and there, just like small streamers. Not I don't really watch the big guys too much. I mean, I stream on Twitch myself, but I don't have like a big following like it's like a lot of other people do. But just I like to see gameplay videos. Just sometimes I'll just type in a random game, see if anyone's actually playing it, watch a replay. Madness, you're on Twitch. How often do you
I
stream on
stream every
there?
once in a while, but what I like to watch is sometimes I'll get a hankering to watch like some speed runs, or
Those are
like games
fun.
done fast,
Mhm.
new release games especially. That's a
Mhm.
Yeah.
big one. Like if I want to pop on, and I don't try to go for people with like a hundred, 200 people watching. I want to watch somebody small really playing the game and not just like dealing with the chat.
Mhm.
I used
Yeah.
to watch Doctor Disrespect a lot because I really enjoyed it. He's not on Twitch anymore, so
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
still a good platform if you want to stream. I think it is the best platform for streaming. I mean, hopefully it does make improvements where it can, but for the most part, I mean, we'll have to just wait in the future and see how Twitch goes. But I mean, hopefully as a podcast, we're all streaming on Twitch one of these days, playing
yeah. I mean, I stream my
a game.
podcast on Twitch
Yeah, me too.
every week,
Yeah,
so
yeah, definitely. All right, and then our last bit of news before our main discussion is the PS5s. There are fewer being made, unfortunately, and it sounds like it's just getting worse due to the chip component shortage. But at least Sony's being real about it. That it's gonna be pretty tough to come out with PS5s, and it just really gets me to thinking, how long is this cross-gen generation gonna be before
Mhm.
everyone just drops their PS4s and even Xbox Ones and just moves on to the PS5, Xbox Series X and S? How long do
Well,
you think the
when did it
cross?
when did it go for like going from 360 to Xbox One and PS3 to PS4? When did that wasn't it not until like 2015, I feel like was
Yeah,
when
Yeah,
2 years, it was like 2 years into the generation when it was really starting to like, okay, everybody's not really making the old stuff anymore. We're pushing towards the new. I feel like it took 2 years.
all
I
right.
I felt like it took longer than that, but you could be right. I can't even remember what was the first like PS4 or Xbox One exclusive. Do you guys remember?
The first
Uh,
big ones that like
Yeah,
you couldn't get.
like it certainly wasn't Bloodborne. Like there had to be another game, right? Before PS4 or
yeah,
was
Uh,
yeah. PS4.
because that's the first one that comes to mind for me. Because
I want to say
that was in
20,
2015 that it came out.
20. All right, so that was
that's.
the
I mean,
first
that's a good
exclusive.
question.
Yeah. If Finest, I know you're in the background. Think you could do some research on that if you can hear us. But yeah, yeah, I know. So the PS4, uh, knack knack on PS4.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay. So yeah, so the PS4 and Xbox One, they came out in
It might
2013.
have been
Mhm.
Bloodborne though. It really might have been.
Well, Knack, like you just said, the
Yeah,
launch game,
The
the game that
launch.
everyone loved and everyone
yeah.
bought with their
Bloodborne,
PS4.
2015, March 2015.
Mhm.
The one that comes to mind for me, at least for the PS4, was Infamous, First Son,
Second Son,
Second Son,
yes. Mhm.
Second Son. Yeah, that was the one that came to mind for me. Really,
I think that was the first one. That would make sense.
I could be
Also a
wrong.
very good
I could
game.
be wrong, but yeah, Infamous Second Son. Because I know you can play that on the PS3, but like a lot of
Mhm.
the titles coming out during that time, you can play here or there, like the Assassin's Creed. You could
Right.
upgrade it to your PS4. I believe it was Assassin's Creed 4. I believe it was.
Mhm.
So
Dragon Age Inquisition, I believe
yeah,
was party as well.
yeah. So yeah, just it seemed like yeah. So maybe so it came out in so those two consoles came out in 2013.
Mhm.
So you're thinking about maybe 2015. We were in like the cross generation was over, where it's like less and less companies were making games for the previous hardware.
Mhm.
So we'll get into our next topic with the year for both consoles. So with this cross gen, how long do you think that will last?
Based off of those, I would probably definitely longer than 2 years. I feel like it would be 3 at a minimum. I feel like 3 is probably the sweet spot, but I feel like it's also going to depend on the chip shortages. With Sony just coming out and saying, "Oh, well, throughout the next year, we're only going to make, this many." It doesn't really bode well, and I feel like we can't really know how much the situation will improve with the chips for the future coming forward. Really, I feel like there's no way to predict it because I believe all the chip shortage is happening because of essentially cryptocurrency and people trying to mine with all of that. And I don't really see any of that stopping. So I feel like we'll be in here for a while.
Yeah, you're probably right. The thing is, like, what, and I don't know what it is. What is the title that is next gen only at this point for both systems? That's really going to make people okay. I have to have this now. Like a lot of people want it now. It's not like you need to have an Xbox Series S or a X or a PS5. But
Mhm.
what's that one title that's going to really push everybody over the edge? Is it Halo for Xbox people? Is
I
that
guess.
really going to push? I
Yeah.
mean, Halo's a big deal
I mean,
if
you're
you're
an
in the
Xbox
Xbox
guy.
world.
I mean, are you an Xbox guy? Do you have a Halo pre-ordered?
No, because it's gonna be on Game Pass. But I have
Fair.
it pre-downloaded. I have the game ready to go. Whenever they decide to turn it on, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. But what's that big? It's usually a cross-platform game that really pushes everybody over the edge.
Mhm.
And what I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. What is it? most games are still coming out
It wasn't
on
Ratchet and
PS4 and
Clank.
Xbox One.
Yeah, wasn't Ratchet and Clank. It
Yeah.
was kind of Returnal because that was the only game in sight when it first came out for PS5, and
Demon
people just picked it
Souls.
up.
Demon
I feel
Souls,
like
but that's a turnoff to everyone because it's so hard.
These are all single
very
platform
niche.
games. They're not
Yeah.
multi-platform.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, we'll dip into next year. I mean, I know the Horizon Forbidden West, that's going to be on PS4, as we've discussed on the show previously.
God of War is also going to be on PS4.
Yeah, so I mean, they may as well just put. I mean, Sackboy, that was a good game, but it's. I mean, I had fun with it, but it's not a. Oh, let me go out and get the PS5. I mean, I believe if Sony does that right now, especially with this chip shortage, they're just going to be hurting their software sales.
Exactly. Because so many people have PS4s. It's the highest selling game console ever.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
I'm looking here and seeing like what's the next big next gen only exclusive game. All right. And the only thing I can really find is Suicide Squad.
That looks good.
It looks like a really good game. I mean, I'll play anything that Rocksteady does because the Batman games are awesome. But that is only Windows, PS5, and Xbox Series X. That's the only one I can find that's a multi-platform game on, that is only next gen.
I could definitely see people going out. Yeah, I could definitely see people going out for that game specifically because it's the superhero game most people, superhero in quotes, game most people have been waiting for. So I can definitely see it as a system seller for sure. But at the same time, it's not like the PlayStation 5 and Xbox needs a system seller per se, because you can't really find them on the shelves as it is. But I guess that kind of ties to the shortages because, if the supply is low, so demand is high and all of that. But it's just interesting seeing as how we don't need, those AAA gangbuster games, and Sony hasn't announced them specifically because I think, they can't meet the supply for it. It's not like they can magically make more. So why would they make a PS5 only game until, the chip shortage isn't a problem?
I've got an Xbox One at the moment, and my son's got a Series S. And we've been playing on both consoles today, and he just notices how slow mine is running. And I've had issues with my controller, so I've been looking at Series S and X's. You just can't get an X or PS5 in England at all. But even the Series S's, there's just no deals on. They're just holding the same price that they were 12 months ago, whereas usually you're getting like Black Friday deals coming on at the moment. So I'm just thinking, do I hold off a bit longer, hoping the prices come down, or the X becomes available? But at the moment, you just can't get them anywhere. What about in the US?
Saying the Series S is a little easier to find. I know the PS5s. I think Best Buy or
PS5,
Target.
forget about it.
Yeah.
I've been trying to help one of my buddies get one for his kid, and he's like, "Dude, can you please help me?" I'm like, "Here you go. Like, good luck." Every time it comes up for sale, like, "Good luck." I'll try. I'll try too. I got lucky with mine. I pre-ordered my Xbox way in advance, like the first day, so I got lucky. But I'm a first day kind of guy for Xbox. That's just how I am. But it is still really hard to get. Switches are also really hard to get right now. But it's holidays.
That's the holidays. The holidays are coming, so
it's only going to make it worse.
Yeah, I know for me, I didn't think the Switch was going to be this hard with the OLED, but people who don't have a Switch are going out and getting them. But for sure.
I just want to go back. I know that you said that you can still play the games on both, and maybe that's what's not pushing the next gen. But at some point, it's going to start holding back games when you have to program for 2 generations of gaming. You really are going to hold back because you're not going to be able to push forward with what the new stuff can do because of solid state drives or whatever. At some point, you have to cut the cord and you have to push forward, even if it might hurt your sales. You have to do it, and it's going to be painful.
Yeah.
But sometimes, in order for gaming to move forward, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I know with Sony admitting that they're going to be making fewer PS5s, I think we're going to be in this cross-gen pattern for a little while longer. I'm thinking, like Alfredo said, 3 years the minimum. So this month marks the year that the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S have been out. Um, so what are you guys' impressions on both consoles so far? I mean, I got a PS5, and I'll start, and I'll just admit that I don't play it that much. I don't play it as much as I would like to. I only have like maybe one exclusive game for it, which is Sackboy. I mean, everything else I could have bought on my PS4 that I have for it. But the UI looks nice, and it's definitely a lot faster with the load times. Could I have waited on it? Yes. I usually don't get consoles usually their first year. I actually did jump on the Switch. I actually got a little sooner because that was just very 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 good to me at the time. But I mean, my wife got me the PS5 for Christmas last year. I mean, I wasn't going to lose any sleep over it if I didn't get it, but she was able to get it, and uh,
The
it's been
the
good.
biggest difference is the solid state drive for
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It is an absolute game changer. And on Xbox with quick resume, oh, you're missing out. I can
Mhm.
I can switch between 5 games and just start them up instantly. And the load times, it really makes gaming easier, quicker, just more accessible and without the load times and things like that. And the quick resumes, like I can have my game quick resumed, my kid can have his, my wife can have hers. Like we can all be in as long as it's not the same game, we can all because that's been happening in Forza. We can all be in different things and just hop back in, back and forth. But also the solid state drive, man, Forza Horizon 5 loads so fast, it's ridiculous. And it
Mhm.
looks gorgeous too. So that's the biggest thing for me is the solid state drives and just how fast and great the loads are on that. The reboot time, everything about a solid, everybody should be solid state. No more hard drives. That's
Mhm.
my biggest takeaway over the last year.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I unfortunately I didn't get an Xbox, so I don't get to have quick resume or anything like that because Sony doesn't have that yet. Hopefully, sometime
Not
soon.
yet.
But I do have a PS5, and it's kind of I have had a very similar experience where I needed this day one to play Miles Morales is what I wanted to get, which was also available on PS4.
Yeah.
So I didn't really need it, and once I got it, I was like, "Oh, this is amazing!" But at the same time, now a year later, I'm looking back at it and saying, "Well, with the things that really came out, I didn't really need it, especially because with the solid state, while it's the best edition, I definitely agree. I also about 2 years ago, about or a year and a half, I got a PC gaming machine for the first time, and I had an SSD. So a year and a half prior, I had already experienced, oh my God, this is what gaming is with SSDs. This is amazing. I was already used to like the 60 FPS and the fast loading times and everything like that. So just getting that experience on a console was really nice, but I already had that realization of, how awesome it was. So it didn't really bring anything new to the table except for the dual sense, which is amazing when you play games that really showcase its ability, like Returnal or Ratchet and Clank and Astro's Playroom. Like those experiences were definitely something new and amazing and awesome. But could I have waited for it? Definitely, especially with the fact that we haven't gotten, I feel, any true 10 out of 10 AAA games as of now, and we're still kind of waiting for them.
Jay, what are your thoughts on both consoles? No, are you eyeing the Xbox or the PlayStation? What's your preference on if you're able to get your hands on one?
It would be an Xbox just because I've had Xboxes since the beginning. To be fair, I've had PlayStation since the beginning as well, but I usually
Mm.
wait a couple of years. So I got a PS4 just for The Last of Us.
Hmm.
It was just purely for that one game, but I waited for a few years. And I'm not a day one type of person. I like to leave it for at least 6 months, 12 months before I buy a new console. But like I said, we just can't get Series X at the moment at all. But that's the one I probably lean to at the moment, definitely. But like I said, my son's Series S, it's just like the quick resume. Because I'm still playing on Xbox One, I could just tell the big difference from going upstairs and then into the living room. The two devices is just massive. But I've always just kept, and I struggle with the PlayStation controllers. I just find them a bit too small. So when I had the PS4, I actually got a controller that was built like an Xbox controller, just because I'm used to that kind of style.
All right. So I have a list here of the most top 10 PS5 games played throughout the year. So we'll just go down the list. Fortnite, Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War. That was a very good one. FIFA 21, NBA 2K21, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which would make sense because I hear that's a 60-hour game. Destiny 2, Destiny still on the top 10. Yeah, I was deep into that game a while back. MLB The Show 21, Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Demon Souls, and NBA 2K22. So a lot of sports games on this list. So more than I would think. But with the exception, I believe all these games you can play on previous gen hardware. So it's I mean, these are the games, with the exception of Demon Souls, which again, like I said, I mean, I know for me personally, if I didn't have one right now, I'm not getting a PS5 just to go out and play Demon Souls. Any thoughts on these list of games here for?
It's not so. I mean, it's not surprising. The most played games are always going to be generally multiplayer games or really, really big single player games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The most surprising one to me on this list is probably Destiny 2. It just keeps coming back. I'm surprised it's still played as much as it is, but they do keep adding content to it, and it was one of
Yeah,
the
they
first.
do.
One of the first games to really get a next gen enhancement too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I think that definitely helped, especially due to the fact not only that I got a next gen enhancement, but they made a shift to free to play as well, and you didn't have to just flat out buy the Destiny 2 game. It could just be downloaded, and since it has the next gen version, you can play the nice shiny version on whatever console you next have, and you can have as close to a next gen experience as you can get. And the game's actually really good. I definitely started playing it when it made that shift to free to play, and I mean it's definitely fun. It's definitely, I would say, something that has really nice next gen capabilities. It's like it's an experience you can get close to, like if you had a gaming PC, which I don't think I can say for a lot of the other games on the list, a lot of the other sports games.
Any of those games seem surprising to you, or any of those games that you like to play, Jay?
I like to play. I really like Destiny 1, and I did like Destiny 2 as well. Fortnite's not really my kind of thing. I'm surprised Apex Legends isn't on there.
Yeah, I'm
Apex,
surprised
yeah,
that's not on there.
it's probably on the top 15. It's probably-
Apex is not as big in the PlayStation world as it is in the PC and Xbox world. That's what I've learned. I'm a big Apex guy, and I do cross-platform, and I was very rarely see PS5, PS gamers in general.
Interesting.
See, I'm the other way around. I see a lot of PlayStation players in my region, Europe, whereas I think it's more popular compared to in America, possibly. But yeah, Call of Duty. I mean, I wonder where Forza 5 is going to go in terms of that. That must be like one of the most popular games then. I know it's only just come out, but that must be surely it's going to be the top 10 Xbox games.
They haven't released to the last week yet, but I'm sure it will be.
All right, and then Xbox. Since we got some Xbox guys on here, November 15th, it turns 20. So I guess they're doing an anniversary celebration on that day. Any thoughts on any announcements that they might have or anything? Maybe some new IPs announced. What do you think, Madness? I'll start with you.
With Halo, that's the big thing. Halo is the big rumor right now that they're going to just launch the multiplayer tomorrow, which if they do, it's going to steal everybody's thunder because it's a month earlier than expected. Call of Duty just dropped last week. And really hasn't gotten that much press. I think you even mentioned, or somebody had mentioned before went on, that they didn't even know it came out yet, and it did. It came out last week. It's kind of
I didn't
under
know.
the radar.
It was
I think
silent.
that's the big thing that's going to come out, and I'm sure they'll show off some new things. I'd love a new Ori game. I doubt that's going to happen, but I'm really just hyped for Halo. That's my big prediction that is going to drop tomorrow.
Yeah, they've already announced that they're not going to announce any new games, so it should just be announcements on games that they've already announced. But I read about that it's supposed to be dropping the multiplayer first, and then the campaign drops in, I think it's 6th of December, early December for Halo. But yeah, I was in. Have you seen the Rock advertisement about the Xbox?
I have not. I have not seen that
I
yet.
haven't seen it.
Does it make
Yeah.
fun of his him coming on stage 20 years ago and getting it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'll have to watch it.
I
Okay.
think they're teasing that he's also going to be there, though.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
think they've confirmed it.
Yeah, because obviously he was involved, wasn't he, originally? So I think the 20 anniversary. But yeah, because you can watch it live, can't you, on like YouTube, Twitch?
Yeah, it's gonna be live. I'll
Facebook as
I'll be
well.
checking it out tomorrow. I'll definitely watch it.
Although I think by the time this releases, this will have already happened.
Yeah, more than likely. But
So if I'm right, please spam the Twitter and the Facebook saying Madness was right and that it released. If I'm wrong, just don't say anything.
my lips are sealed if you're wrong.
Mr. Madness, I've got a question for you then. Are you a big fan of Halo games then?
That's what got me. That's why I bought an Xbox.
Do you know how many games there's been in Halo games?
What are they up to 9 now?
Hasn't been that many. Wow.
Wow, that's a lot.
Well, if you're including
Yeah.
Halo Wars and stuff, I think it's like 9. And there's also that one weird Halo. God, I can't remember the name of it. It was like a shooter, not a first-person shooter kind of game.
Spartan Assault.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. It wasn't very good.
There's been 12.
12 games.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, when I was looking about the 20-year anniversary, I thought, I counted them. I thought, I've got about 8 or 9. But yeah, they've got like the shootings that you just said about Spartan Strike, Spartan Assault, and then they had Halo Wars as well.
Yeah, I'm not a Halo Wars guy. That real-time strategy doesn't really work on Xbox for me.
All right, so since you guys have had Xboxes like when they originally came out in 2001, like with the exception of Halo, because I'm sure you guys have good memories of those. What other games have been memorable throughout the original Xbox and just their whole time with them being in the gaming space?
Gears of War for me.
Gears of War was a big one. If we're talking original Xbox, does anybody remember Brute Force? That was supposed to be like a big deal, and it was a big flop. Xbox has tried a lot to do a lot of different things, but none have worked like Halo and Gears of War. Those have been their two biggest and longest lasting. Fable kind of worked, but they've kind of ruined it too. But for me, I'm a shooters guy, so Xbox has always been my preferred, especially for online. It's always worked better for me than Sony stuff has.
No,
And
that's fair.
I'm not a PC gamer. I like to have a controller, and I don't want to deal with PCs. I just want something that works, and I can just turn it on.
Agreed.
Fair.
So
yeah, I mean, Gears of War, I remember getting that on the 360. That was like the first game where you just kind of took in all the scenery and the graphics, where you really thought like that was kind of next gen. But the original Xbox, I remember playing like the original Halo on that and just doing like little LAN games, multiplayer, like Capture the Flag. That's the kind of like the first kind of online gaming that I really did. The original Halo. That was brilliant.
When I went away to college, I was the only person on my floor that had an Xbox. Everybody else had a PlayStation, but everybody came to my room to play Halo because that was it. That was what you could play, 4 players on one TV, and nobody else had anything like that.
Yeah,
Unless you had a 64.
Yeah. I mean, people would just buy the Xbox just for Halo. I mean, I remember talking with
Exactly.
people like it dropped like my junior year of high school, I believe. But yeah, it's just they were just talking like, yeah, I'm just gonna get it to play Halo. Otherwise, I like they really weren't
I had no
interested
interest
in
in
any of the
buying an
other
Xbox.
games.
I
Mhm.
had no
Oh,
interest
you didn't?
until I played Halo.
Yeah.
I really wasn't gonna buy it. I had Dreamcast and I was okay with Dreamcast, even though it was
Yeah.
dying. But I played Halo and I'm like, I gotta have this. Like, I
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
have this.
yeah. For me, it was just like, I mean, I've never been a big shooters guy, but yeah, it's just like it was just really the GameCube, and I had a PS2. I mean, for me, really, it was just like when Microsoft came into the gaming space. I'll just be honest, I did not think they were going to last, and it's been 20 years, so they proved me wrong.
Mhm.
I got an Xbox One. I hardly ever play. I'll turn it on when I get a game that Mr. Madness is deeply in love with right now. We'll save it for a little later, but but yeah, it's great to see that they've been around so long, and they're one of the big three when we think of gaming hardware: Nintendo, Sony,
Mhm.
Microsoft. I
Yeah.
think yeah, for sure. I think they've done a good job, and just
I think
doing
one of the
that.
good things as well is Xbox Game Pass.
Mhm.
Where you get your
Mhm.
day one releases straight away. I
Mhm.
think that's good. I don't know if there's anything equivalent on the PlayStation or not because I don't really do
Not really.
PlayStation.
There's nothing like a Game Pass.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
is pretty much the reason why like I'm a PlayStation guy, and this is the first time that I'm considering actually getting an Xbox Series S probably when they become available, and who knows that will be. But I'm considering getting it because of Game Pass and because I have not been in the ecosystem and I have the opportunity to catch up with all of the games that they have available to play for a Game Pass subscription just from the comfort of my own home. So whenever it's available, I'm definitely going to buy it.
You
I
you
just
don't
don't know
even
when that will
need
be.
you don't even need an Xbox.
Yeah,
You
No,
I
can
not
you can
really. You
cloud
can
gaming
game,
it.
yeah, you can
yeah.
game on your phone. I mean, yeah, just
I have tried it because I did get in the beta initially. So I have tried it on my iPad and on my phone, and the lag delay was just so bad from when I tried it. I don't know if it has improved. I
I
want to
wouldn't
say
use
I
it for
tried it.
shooters,
Oh,
but
you have?
other. I mean, I wouldn't
Oh
use it
yeah,
for
no,
shooters.
I wasn't either. I was trying to play Dragon Quest,
Dragon
and
Quest.
just to continue the dialogue box of this JRPG, it was like a solid 5 seconds after I had pressed the button. I was like, I don't think I can play this game. But one day we'll get there.
because you get your Windows game as well, don't you, on your Game Pass?
If you have Ultimate, you get
Mhm.
Windows as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right now I just have for PC because I only have a PC, but eventually I'll get Ultimate.
All right, for sure,
I think
definitely.
it. Sorry, just one last thing. Um, I think one of the things, obviously, you pay a monthly subscription, but for me, it's you're able to test games. So there's you
Mhm.
go to the store or something, you look at a game, you think, oh, it's not my type. But with the Game Pass, you can just download it, spend half an hour on it, and if you don't like it, you haven't lost anything, have you?
Mhm.
No, I think what stopped me from getting it is just I got so much other stuff to play. I just would hardly be on it, and then if there is a game that I do want to play, I overlook it. I might miss it, and it's just like, oh, limited time. So I mean, I guess for me, it's just I feel like I would never play it, but I've been thinking about at least doing it for my Xbox One. I mean, we'll see, but I need to cut down on some subscription services before signing up for any more. At least for me right now, in terms of
Mhm.
finances and all that stuff.
I'm
All
sure
right.
they'll have a special like they always do, like sign up for $1. I think they had like last week for 3 months with
Yeah.
crazy deals.
They usually have something like that, but you got to be a
Mhm.
first time subscriber, which I am not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Same here. I've already had it. So.
Well, sometimes they have it for existing subscribers, but those are a little
Sometimes
bit
I
more
know you
rare.
gotta find them.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
gotta find. All right. All right. So into the home stretch now. The release rundown of all the games that are coming out. And this is a pretty loaded week, as if you like a little bit of, everything. So Moncage, all right. So November 16th, we got Moncage coming to PC, iOS, and Android. Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and your PC. Surviving Aftermath for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. And we got Smurfs Mission Relief Smurftastic Edition for the Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. The Wild at Heart for the PlayStation 4. All right. So, and then on November 17th, we got Final Fantasy 7, The First Soldier for iOS and Android. Tamaran, I think I said it right. Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One. November 18th, we have Blood Rain 1 and 2 revamped. So it's both of them. I know 2 is displaying on the bottom. I accidentally deleted the first one. But yeah, both Blood Rain revamped for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Epic Chef for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. XO1 for the Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PC. Undungeon, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PC. And then November 19th, the big one for a lot of people, Battlefield 2042, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Nerf Legends for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, pretty much everything there. And then for you Nintendo fans out there, the Pokemon, Brilliant Diamond, and Shining Pearl, both for the Switch, also coming out the 19th. Any of these games you're looking forward to?
Battlefield.
But I've heard it's crashing your Xboxes.
Oh
No.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I have not put it on my system yet, but I've heard people playing it because you can get it early if you have EA Play or whatever. It is crashing people's Xboxes.
Is EA Play available on Game Pass? Does that come with
yes,
it?
it is part of it
that's
now.
what I thought. Cool.
Okay.
So you can try it out, and if it does, at least you didn't spend $60 on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play it. I played every Battlefield pretty much. Nerf Legends might be pretty fun. I'm looking for a shooter game to play with my kiddo. I really don't like guns to play with my kid, but Nerf, can't go wrong with Nerf, right?
Yes, because it's Nerf or nothing, right?
Right.
Surprisingly, what stands out to me also is actually Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier, which is like their battle royale game, and it actually looks really good. I'm just disappointed it's only available on mobile. I feel like it would be really good if it was on everything else as well, like Fortnite, but I might happen for that for a bit. And then Pokemon, I will be hopping in to see how they can differentiate it from all the other Pokemon and, what new additions they made for this remake.
I know for me, I was surprised that the Smurfs had a video game.
Yes.
I heard
it doesn't look terrible.
It looks pretty good.
It's probably okay. It's probably decent. How bad could it be? It doesn't look that bad.
Well, you say that.
I know.
It can be pretty
bad.
Look
that bad.
I mean, if it's a good game, maybe I'll get it on a cheap, but it looks like it's on all consoles. I mean, the graphics look legit. I mean, I'm looking at them right now. So, I mean, I was just a little surprised there with that.
There's no movie, so like, why is there a Smurfs game coming out?
Right.
It kind of just came out of left field. Smurfs, okay.
Right.
And then with Battlefield, I mean, even though Vanguard didn't really interest me this year, I'm more of a Call of Duty guy when it comes between the battle of the first person shooters, at least on other consoles. So I mean, I go to Call of Duty, but I mean, I'll definitely check out Battlefield. I'll see what it's like. If my core crew of gamers that I like to game with on the PS5 get it, then maybe I'll jump in. We'll see. I mean, that's how I got suckered into getting the last Black Ops game last year, but that was actually pretty good though. I've always been a Black Ops fan. And then Pokemon.
There's nothing like a Call of Duty multiplayer round.
Oh yeah, multiplayer.
When you have a hankering for it, there's nothing like a regular Call of Duty round.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter the skill set now since they just evened out everything. So it's not like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 where I would just get my ass kicked. I mean, it was a fun game, but I would just get Yeah, thank God for evening out the playing field with your abilities. And then Pokemon. I mean, I got a Switch, but I've never really been big on the Pokemon series, so I got some friends who will probably get the game, and we'll see how it goes. I'll look at the reviews like I do of just about every game
It's
that comes out on the
Pokemon.
Switch.
It's
That's
you
fun.
know what it is. It's
Yeah,
Pokemon.
you know what you're getting with it.
Gotta catch them all, right?
Yeah, I think this time you can have like chibi outfits and stuff, and you look like a chibi. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out.
Has anyone played the Survive in the Aftermath? Because I know it's stats out on the PC already. I looked on Steam. That's got mixed reviews. Any Steam players?
Not
I'm on
really. Our
Steam.
big Steam guy
No,
is in the background today.
Matt. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, he's the big Steam guy. Him and I believe Logan, who's also not on the show today. But uh, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
You
thought the
got
trailer looked pretty good on that, but then when I looked at the reviews, I thought, oh,
Well, it's technically early access, so
Mm.
yeah.
I mean, we'll see how. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's coming to the Switch, so I mean, it must be a pretty easy game to run if it's going to be on the Switch. All right. Any more thoughts on what's coming out this week? I think this is like the last big week of the year where we're seeing a uh, big set of games, at least before the Thanksgiving holiday here in the States.
yeah, this is
Um,
the last big week.
mhm.
There's a couple stuff, a couple games, nothing major really coming out the
Yeah,
rest of the
feel like
year,
just
but
Halo.
Just
Halo,
Halo.
hey, it could
Halo
come out tomorrow or
Mhm.
could be out Monday the
True,
15th.
very
could be
true.
could be surprised. Yeah, like I said, if you're correct, I'll go in and I'll be like, "Yep, you were correct, Mister Madness." All right, so the big everyone's favorite part of the show. What are we playing this week? Who wants to start?
I'll kick it off. Guys,
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about Forza Horizon 5. I love Forza Horizon, but I switched my Xbox to New Zealand so I could download it and play it early
Oh
because it was
wow.
out there early. So I just changed my console over to New Zealand. So yes, for a day or two, I was in New Zealand. I had to kind of change all the kilometers and stuff, but it is everything that you've wanted in an open world racing game. There's so much stuff to do in it. It's incredible. There's over 500 cars to get, and you have to get them all, photograph them all, races. It's packed with stuff right off the bat. And if you have Game Pass, it's free. It's included. So why wouldn't you want to play Forza Horizon 5? And also my wife enjoys it and plays it too. So it's something that we can compete with each other on. Highly recommend Forza Horizon 5 as of right now, probably my game of the year. But sometimes I like a little not something racing, and I'm also playing Psychonauts 2, which I've had on my Xbox since it came out, and I'm really enjoying Psychonauts 2 way more than I thought I would. I kind of liked Psychonauts 1. It really was okay. I didn't really get the hype about it, and they've been talking about it for so long, and it's been pushed and pushed and pushed and teased. I really am enjoying it. The story is good. It's way deeper than I expected it to be. But if you like 3D action platformers and that style of game, there's really a lot going for it. The voice acting is great. The story is great. The combat is a little hard at first to get used to. There's a lot going on, but once you get used to it, it flows very well. It's kind of out there. It's got that Double Fine humor, which if you've ever played a Double Fine game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But when I need a multiplayer, I'm playing Forza. Psychonauts 2, it's the other game I'm playing right now. It's very heady, going into people's heads and thinking like that. But I highly recommend both games right now. That's what I'm playing this week.
That's good. That's good. Definitely. Yeah. For me, Forza Horizon 5. I'm just I'll pick my spot of when to play, but I mean I can't wait to jump into it. Jay, what are you playing?
I'm playing Apex Legends still. I've been playing
Oh,
that since the first month. Season 11 launched a couple of weeks ago, so I'm just really enjoying that at the moment. I'm actually playing a game from that was recommended by, I think it was Matt, Unpacking.
Unpacking?
I was listening.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ah,
so when
yes.
I joined,
Good game. It's just really short.
Oh, is it?
It's
I'm
like
only on
4
the third
hours.
level.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Okay,
Which is
unpacking.
really I've been playing it with my 10-year-old daughter and one of her friends. It's very therapeutic. So yeah, it was on. Yeah, it was. Yeah, one of your back when I was been listening to one of the episodes, I saw it, listened to it, and I thought, oh, what's this? So I had a look, and it's on Game Pass as well, so that's brilliant. So I downloaded that, and then the other game, which I have started playing, but I think I'm going to stop now, is Backbone, um, which I don't know if anyone else has played Backbone. It's a side scroller, it's like pixel, and it's a detective game. And it was actually a Kickstarter game from a couple of years ago that's been released. I've just completed the Act One, and I don't think I'm going to carry on if I'm honest. It was okay, but actually reading some reviews, it goes downhill quite quick after that. So I've got rid of that one.
Would you say
That
that the
was
story doesn't hold up for it?
yeah. I mean, one like it's only a minor thing, but like when you pause a game, the background's blue and the writing's yellow, and there's different options you can move up and down. But when you move up and down, there's no symbol to say which option you're on. So you can get lost to actually see where you are. So then you're pressing different buttons, and like one of the buttons I press to turn it to from English to like Ukraine. So then I was like trying to get my subtitles all back to English as well. So it was a bit of palaver. But yeah, the game, it's just Apex Legends that I just play a lot at the moment. But Mr. Madness, in terms of Forza, do you know the kind of little glitch with Forza? Because my son's got Forza 5 that he's been glitching over the weekend.
I haven't seen any glitch.
He he's left his Xbox just running. So apparently, if you turn on all the like aids, you know, like your braking line and everything, and turn on, he basically puts elastic band around the accelerator and it does the full track 50 times, and it takes like 10 hours, and you get loads of XP in game currency. So he did that yesterday, and he's left that one in all today as well. So he's bought all like the
I
most
mean,
expensive cars and everything.
I don't have a problem unlocking everything. I
Yeah, you
kind
have
of
to
I
do
don't like
like
to
the
do that kind
50
of stuff
laps.
because it ruins the whole gameplay
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me. I just like to let it happen. It's not hard. It's really not that hard to do it in the game if you just play it. It really isn't.
Yeah, this is a 50 lap one where you go around the whole island or something.
I see it now that I googled it quick.
Mhm.
So I think
But
you
I don't.
got that
I
off
have
of
like
social
if you
media
get
or
like
something.
the VIP pass, you don't have a problem getting XP and money,
Nice.
No.
which is what I did. I had to pay to play it early. I did that. I'm a sucker.
Alfredo, what are you playing, man?
Yeah, I'm playing 2 games right now, actually. So I'm playing a game called Inscription. Has anybody?
Inscription.
Yeah, have you guys heard about it? It's a
Yeah,
card deck builder game,
yeah.
kind of.
I think Matt. That was another game Matt recommended. So, yeah, a lot. Yeah, Matt,
Okay, yeah.
you're really missed on the show today, man. We're playing all your recommended games, man.
Yeah, so I hopped into this game because I believe it was first revealed on like this year's E3, and it didn't really strike my fancy. I wasn't really planning on getting it, but when it came out about a month ago, it had gotten overwhelmingly positive reviews, so I decided to hop in and play it. And my history with card deck builders are with Slay the Spire. I played in another game called Griftlands, which both I really, really loved. So I was really excited for this game. And it's kind of hard to talk about this game without spoiling it. Like you're seeing in the trailer right now, it does have some puzzle elements to it. So it's not like a strictly card deck builder. That is the main mechanic of the game. And so if you love card deck builders, you're going to love this game. But it also has puzzle elements for those of you guys who like that as well. So I would say when I first started the game, I absolutely adored it. And the more that I've played the game, I'm kind of not liking it as much because without going into spoilers, it dips into some other genres, and the main mechanic of card deck building and playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Essentially kind of fades away, and it becomes something else that I don't really enjoy as much, but I'm still not done, so the verdict is still out. I still think it is a very good game, and especially if you like games like Pony Island, which is the creator of that game made this game, and he usually does some pretty weird stuff. So if you played that game, you kind of know what you're getting into with genre hopping and stuff like that, and kind of upsetting expectations, then you're gonna love this game. So definitely recommend it. But yeah, that's where I am at with this game. And then another game that I actually started playing about 2 days ago is called The Forgotten City, which is on Game Pass recently that I've started playing. And I've been wanting to play this game because I heard it was a mystery game, and I just didn't want to spend the money for it. And luckily, it came to Game Pass like 2 weeks ago. So I started playing it finally. And I am loving this game like so much. I basically binged this game, just played it from start to finish in 2 sessions. Right before I hopped onto this call, I was playing essentially the epilogue, and I really, really, really love this game. It's probably going to be on my top games that I played this year, even though it didn't come out this year. But basically what the game is it's a mystery game. It's a mystery adventure game. You're basically trying to solve a big riddle about what exactly is happening in this city that you dropped into, and who is basically responsible for all the bad things that is happening for it. So it's like a social deduction game where you're basically playing detective, and it has a lot of branching paths where you're trying to accomplish one thing, but there's multiple different avenues of doing so. And it's really fun just saying, I want to accomplish this, but I can do this or I can do this. And you can try it because it's also a time loop game. So each time you do it over and over again, you can do a new thing and see if it works. And usually it works, which is really, really cool. Just seeing all the different ways that you can kind of manipulate the story. So yeah, I would really recommend this game. It has a lot of twists. It has a lot of turns. If you're into stories, you would love this game. And if you're into mystery/detective games, you would love this game. So give it a go.
All right, definitely sounds good, people. If for anyone listening or watching, definitely take all of our recommendations of what we're playing. So for me, I had to hit on the nostalgia factor, and I dipped into Mario Party Superstars this week. I did 2 game boards. I did Yoshi's Island, or the Yoshi board, which was on Mario Party 1, and I also did um, the spaceship place, which was in Mario Party 2. So it comes with 5 boards. I haven't done all 5 boards yet. I eventually do want to. I believe it's across the first 3 Mario Party games. All the mini games are across, I think, all of them, like throughout the GameCube, even the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really definitely hit the nostalgia factor. When I was playing yesterday, I was actually streaming it. I got one of the mini games I really hated the most, which was tug of war. And then if you remember back in the day, I guess it can cause ear irritation because you had to go like really hard with the stick if you wanted to win at that game. And yeah, it's just you had to like go back and forth with that thing. So they would send out gloves. But yeah, it's been a real fun game so far. So if you have a Switch, definitely just feel free to reach out. Give me your friend code. We can play online. It's you can play this game online. It's just really fun game. Definitely really hitting the nostalgia there, and just having a good time just playing that. And then also another game that I've been playing. So I did tell you guys that I beat Metroid Red. So I picked up Metroid Samus Returns for the 3DS a while back, and I didn't. Not so much I didn't really get into it. I was just like, whatever about it. And then I started playing some other games, so I'll just put it down. Like, I'll come back to it later. But since I've beaten Metroid Red, it's made me want to re-explore Samus Returns. So I've dipped back into that. I just started a new file, and so far so good. I was actually playing it a little bit before we started this podcast. It just only sucks because not that I'm against handheld gaming or anything like that, but that's a game. It came out a couple months after the Switch launched, so I really feel that it should have been on the Switch. And if they ever do port Samus Returns over to the Switch, I would definitely pick it up in a minute. Hopefully they port over more of the 3DS titles to the Switch, but we'll have to see about that. But so far, I mean, definitely the Metroidvania style game is, it's just, I guess you can kind of say I have a little bit of that fever right now when it comes to like any adventure games. But I think Metroid Dread. I mean, Alfredo, I know you didn't like it much, but I feel like they knocked it out of the park in terms of the graphics, the presentation, everything. Metroid's always been like a game ahead of its time. Coming out in 1986, having to go through that whole game without a map.
Yeah.
So I mean,
true.
I'm just being real. So yeah, it's always been like one of those games. And then I also jumped back into Super Turrican, the director's cut. I'm actually planning on streaming that game later. We'll see how far I get, but I was fooling around with that for a little bit. I still can't get past like the first couple levels, but in terms of that's really all that I've been playing. And with that being said, we bring this show to a close. Send us your comments, your questions, anything you want to know from us. GameandWatchPodcast@gmail.com. For those that are listening, definitely pretty much our name at gmail.com. If you're watching, the email's right there. Definitely hit us up. If we get any email, we will read it on air. So for Mr. Madness, Jay, the synth wave gamer, and Alfredo, the Duke of Gaming, this is Too Tall for Evil saying so long. Thank you for listening or watching the Game & Watch podcast, episode number 63. Join us for episode number 64 next week. Thank you.